Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Um, Hi, it's Monday, which means we're back for another morning meditation. Hopefully, you guys had a dope weekend. I think my weekend was pretty cool. I got some stuff done for sure. Yes, I did, because for those of you who do not know, July is just execute July, okay? And so we have been executing, not allowing ourselves to overthink, not allowing ourselves to talk ourselves out of the brilliant ideas that come across these minds of ours, right? So July is all about just executing, not spending too much time trying to develop, a plan A, B, C, D, all the things. We're not going to do that because that's what usually slows us down, trips us up, and keeps us from actually getting to the goal. So for July, we just executing, right? And so I'm pretty happy with the results that I've been getting so far since implementing this challenge. It's been great. Hi, good morning. So, morning meditation, for those of you who do not know, comes from a digital goal setting planner and journal that I created called the Write It Out Planner because, we get these ideas and trying to keep all the ideas in here. I do not recommend it because you're going to forget something. And on these things that you want to execute, baby, please write them down. Write it down. You can use my planner, you can use a piece of paper, you can use whatever you're going to use. Make sure you write it down because we need to not forget. And studies have shown that the more you write stuff down, you are more likely to execute on something that you've written down versus something that's just an idea in your head. So, the goal setting planner is called the Write It Out Planner. It's based on Habakkuk 2 and 2. And Habakkuk 2 and 2 says, write the vision and make it plain, right? Oh, good morning. It's okay. You're not late. We just getting started. Okay. We just getting started. Um, Habakkuk 2 and 2 says, write the vision, make it plain so that a herald can read it and run with it, right? So there's going to be people who come along to help you along the way on these visions and these things. But if you can't even, you know, show them, tell them, explain it because it's all in your head, how can someone help you? Like, yeah, we got to write these things down. Got to write these things down. So you want to make sure, even if it's not my planner, like I said, I don't care. You ain't got to use my planner, but I need you to write it down somewhere. Okay. Write it down somewhere. And within this planner, every month, there is a focus scripture. Do I have a boyfriend? I have a husband. Thank you. Um, with the months, every month there is a focus scripture. And the focus scripture for the month of July is Mark 5 and 36. The focus scripture for the month of July is Mark 5:36. So we're going to jump into what that looks like, right? So Mark 5:36 says, don't be afraid, just believe. So we are in, what week is this? What is this? The second week? Third week? I don't even know. Time is a flying. I think it's the second week. Let me look at a calendar. Hold on. Ooh. Um Okay, yeah, we're in the second Monday. So we we really have just jumped into this. So if you go back and look at last week's video, you'll see what we talked about, but I'm gonna give you a quick recap. So we broke down what was really happening in Mark uh 5:36. I'm one who likes to not just look at this one little bit of scripture, but what's happening right before. And today we're going to jump into what happened after because all of that is important. Context matters. Don't just let people throw stuff at you without giving you proper context. Proper context is important. You need all of it. Okay. So, proper context for what's happening here in Mark. There's a man named Jairus. Jairus' daughter is sick. he hears about Jesus at this time. Jesus, he's been out here. People have been hearing his name out in the streets. Who, that y'all heard about that man Jesus? He out there, he healing people, people coming into contact with him, lame people walking, like, the word is getting out about the miracles. And so Jairus' daughter is sick. Jairus finds Jesus and asked him, he said, Lord, my daughter is sick. I need you to come lay hands on her. Right? And so Jesus is like, bet, let's go. So Jairus, he has a problem. He's come up with a plan. He is in the middle of executing this plan. He has gotten to his destination. He has found Jesus. He's made the request. The request is granted. And Jesus is like, bet, let's go. I'm down. We're going to go do this thing. While they are on their way, here come some people with some bad news. Good morning, honey. While Jairus and Jesus are on the way to his house to go lay hands and heal his daughter, here come some folks from his house with some bad news. And this just like, I compare this to negative thoughts. I compare this to people who, they have your best interests in mind sometimes, but that's the thing about when God gives you something to do versus other people. Like what he gives you to do may not make sense to other people. It may not be something that looks logical to other people. I mean, look at Noah. They had never heard of rain before, and God's like, build this ark because it's gonna rain. They'd never heard of rain before. You may be pioneering something. It's okay if people do not understand what you have to do. Push forward, push past their voices, push past the negativity, push past what they think and all the things, because none of what they think matters. What matters is, what did God say? And you hold on to that. Okay. So here come these people with this bad news. You know what? Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up for y'all so we can check it out. Here we go. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Here we go. All right. So we're looking at Mark 5:36, and it says, well, I'm gonna go up to 35 just for context, right? So while he being Jesus, is still speaking, some people came from the synagogue official's house. Jairus is the synagogue official, okay? Saying to Jairus, your daughter has died. Why bother the teacher any longer? Basically saying, this plan that you got, you need to go on ahead and give up on that, because what you came here for, it ain't even gonna happen. Jesus, overhearing what has been said to the synagogue official, do not be afraid. Only keep on believing in me and my power. So Jesus heard exactly what they said. And he said, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. Keep believing. Don't listen to them. Keep believing. Let's see what happens next. 37. And he allowed no one to go with him as a witness except Peter and James and John, the brother of James. So look, we all know Jesus rode, he rode with 12, right? Everybody in your circle can't hold what you got. You got to know those who labor among you. Like you got that one friend who, you can't tell them because, they might just crash out, or they have all like, they'll hear what you're saying and take it way over there. Like you have to know who your people are, who can handle what you've got. Jesus did not take everybody. He took his three. He had his 12, then he had his three. Okay? Know who your people are. That way, you're not saying things to people who are going to crush what it is that you're building. It's like you're building your sandcastle and you're talking to them, and they just come with water and just pour it on the thing and kick it down and like all the stuff with their words. So we got to be careful. Okay. Know who your people are. You can't tell everybody everything. Not not out of fear, out of wisdom. Okay? It's out of wisdom because we don't move in fear around these parts. It's out of wisdom. You don't just say everything to everybody. Okay? And so in verse 37, Jesus didn't let everybody go with him. He did, however, take his three: Peter, James, and John, the brother of James. Verse 38. They came to the house of the synagogue official, and he looked with understanding at the uproar and commotion and people loudly weeping and wailing and mourning, right? Because before they got there, they declared she was gone. So they out here, they get there, and Jesus, when he goes in, says to them, verse 39, "Why make all this commotion and weep? The child has not died, but is sleeping." Jesus made a claim that sounds so crazy. Everybody is like, "What? What are you talking about, good sir?" There was a doctor there, I'm sure. I'm sure there was someone who, was in the room, who was a medical professional of some sort, for them to declare her to be gone like that. And then here comes Jesus telling Jairus, don't listen to them. What does he do? He tell everybody, get out. In verse 40, he tells everybody to get out. They began laughing scornfully at him. Hey, good morning. They began laughing scornfully at him because they knew the child was dead. But he made them all go outside and took along the child's father and mother and his own three companions and entered the room where the child was. So what did he do? He kicked everybody out the house. All y'all doubters, all y'all unbelievers, all y'all get out. You can't have everybody in the room. Okay? Can't have everybody in the room. Everybody does not believe. And they don't have to. They don't have to believe. You have to continue believing. That's the thing. That's the part that I think is so key that we have to remember, because they came and brought Jairus that news. Jesus said, do not listen to them. Only don't be afraid. Don't let bad news scare you. Understand who you rolling with. Understand who's walking with you. Don't be afraid. Just believe and keep going. They kept going. Jesus told everybody to get out. Everybody who was laughing, everybody who, how can you say that? How can you think that this is going to work? It clearly is not going to work. All of that stuff that's going to come up while you're in the midst of trying to move forward towards a thing. Why would you think that that's going to work and this, that, and the other? Lord, baby, don't. The things that people will say, don't listen to them. What did God tell you? What did He place in your heart to do? What has been impressed on your spirit? Hold on to that. Believe that. Continue to go to God in prayer and seek on that thing. Focus in on that. Verse 41. Taking the child's hand, He tenderly said to her, Talitha kum, which translated from Aramaic means, little girl, I say to you, get up. And the little girl immediately got up and began to walk, for she was 12 years old. And immediately they who witnessed the child's resurrection were overcome with great wonder and utter amazement. Some things can't be done in front of everybody. Everybody gonna see the result, but you can't let everybody into your process. And I know we in the age of social media where we just want to put everything out there and we want to go viral and all of the things, right? Before you do all of that, get with God and find out what parts should you share publicly? What parts are meant for your 3? Remember, Jesus said He had His 12. Then He had His 3. This thing that He just did, He ain't doing it in front of everybody. Everybody, of course, granted, they're going to see the results. They're going to see what happened. They're going to hear about it, all of that stuff. But the process part, the initial working it out, was not done in front of everybody. When the widow woman got her instructions from Elisha, he told her, take your sons, go into the house and shut the door. Everybody cannot see. Everybody's not meant to see your process. And I know in this age of social media, that may feel a little hard, especially if you're like, oh, I'm an influencer, I do this and whatever, whatever, whatever. Nobody needs to have that much access to you. Okay, nobody needs to have that much access to you. And you don't need to prematurely allow people and spirits and things, yes, that art is mine. You don't need to allow people and spirits and things in on the plan too soon, too early. You can't tell everybody everything. Can't tell everybody everything. You have to know those who labor among you, know who your 12 are, know who your 3 are. Okay, know your 12, know your 3, act accordingly. Okay, with your information, with your ideas, with your goals, with all the things. You can't just put everything out there for everybody. Okay, listen. Make sure it's a safe space. All them people that was in the house, they were not a safe space. Why? Because they was laughing when Jesus said she ain't dead, she sleep. Are the people around you gonna laugh at the thought of your miracle, or can they believe with you? Can they believe with you? And if they can't, they got to get out the room. It's okay, they still family, but they got to get out the room. Some stuff you can't just do in front of everybody. You got to let them see the results. Let them see the results. Don't force it. Let them see the results. Jesus told everybody, get out. And she got up when he was in the room with those who believed. Those who believe. He told Jairus, don't be afraid, only believe. The same faith that Jairus had to seek Jesus out, because there was something in him that knew, I get to Jesus, my daughter gonna be okay. People came with bad news, but he didn't allow the bad news to uproot that hope that he had. When he first sought Jesus out, he said, if I get to Jesus, she gonna be all right. They came with bad news, and Jesus said, don't listen to them, believe in me. Don't listen to them, believe in me. I don't know who has an idea right now that feels so far-fetched to you. It feels like you just have no idea how, but it won't leave you alone. You don't know how, but it won't leave you alone. That's perfect. That's perfect, because that shows you that it ain't gonna be nothing but God that gets you through when that thing comes to pass. I want you to not let go of whatever this is, because people are trying to tell you that that's not going to work, or people are trying to tell you you need to be more realistic, or people are telling you that that's that's too big. Good. Let it be big. In fact, dream bigger. That's what God told me. I can tell y'all what God told me. He told me dream bigger. Because if it's something you can do in your own strength, what you need God for? You don't need faith for that. You don't need faith for something that you can guarantee do on your own. Dream bigger, y'all. And move the people out the room. Anybody who's not going to be able to believe with you, they can't go. They can't go right now. We still love them. We still love them now, because I know this cancel culture be ready to just eliminate everybody, cut them off. No, we not. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying do that. Okay, what I'm saying is they just don't need to be in the room. Okay, they don't need to be in the room. No, you need you, Jesus, and maybe three folk. Okay, but y'all get in there and y'all push. Okay, push the thing forward. Push it forward. Why? Because the result, the result's gonna be bigger than your wildest dream. Imagine if Jarius listened to them folks. Don't let don't let your negative thoughts take over and win. Don't let your negative thoughts take over and win. Imagine if Jarius listened Imagine if Jarius got in agreement with those people. Imagine, imagine if he got in agreement with those folks. If when he got to the house, he joined them in crying and mourning. No. Don't join in the crying in the morning. Don't align yourself with something that God didn't say. Don't align yourself with something God didn't say. Yeah. Don't align yourself. Don't align yourself with something God didn't say. Jesus told him, don't listen to them, only believe in me. Let's go. And they kept it going. You may get a rejection or two or three or four along the way. I had a business coach tell me once, you need to look for 100 no's. If you look for 100 no's, you may eventually get to your yes, right? So we have to reframe our thinking. We got to reframe it. Like, we have to reframe how we feel about rejection and all those things, because a lot of times we are so worried about how other people are going to respond that we miss it. We'll talk ourselves out of doing something. We'll hold ourselves back. We'll get in agreement with what they're saying because it's a lot of people saying it. But it don't matter how many people are saying it. What did God say? What did God say? That's it. That's what you got to focus on. That's what I want you to focus on this week. What did God say? I don't care what it looked like. I don't care what's coming up. Because trust me, I know it'll be some things that'll come up. And that's okay. Let them come. But what did God say? What did God say? That's all. That's it. That's all. It don't matter what the naysayers got to say, whatever things they try and show you. They'll try and show you logical reasons why you should stop. They'll give you all kinds of things, studies or whatever. They'll have their facts, they'll have their stats, they'll have whatever reason they come up with as to why you should no longer continue. But what did God say? What was placed inside you that won't leave you alone? Do the thing. Don't let their doubt become your doubt. Don't let their fear become your fear. Hold on to your faith. Keep going, keep pressing, keep striving. Do it anyway. No, you're 12. No, you're 3. And I want to share one more thing with y'all as we are in this Just Execute challenge for July. There's another scripture in here that I want us to go to real quick. in Ecclesiastes because, listen, Ecclesiastes 11 is the scripture that I also want you to meditate on this month. Cast your bread on the waters. Cast your bread on the surface of the waters. Be diligently active, making thoughtful decisions, for you will find it after many days. Verse 2. And verse 2 sits with me because, I hear a lot of times people talk about, you need 7 streams of income and all this other stuff, right? But this right here, do you need 7 or do you need 8? Give a portion to 7 or even divide it to 8, for you do not know what misfortune may occur on the earth. Believe Jesus. Don't listen to the doubters. Activate every idea with thoughtful decisions, not with overthinking, not with fear, not with logical rationalization, but move with faith. Okay. Verse 3 says, if the clouds are full of rain, they empty themselves on the earth. And if a tree falls towards the south or towards the north, in the place where the tree falls, there it lies. It doesn't matter which way the tree is falling. If it falls, it falls, right? Verse 4. This for all my overthinkers. He who watches the wind, waiting for all conditions to be perfect, will not sow seed. And he who looks at the clouds will not reap a harvest. There's no such thing as the perfect condition. There's no such thing as the perfect condition. I think Bishop Omer talks about this. I remember this from when I was in California going to Faithful Central. Bishop Omer said, it was the best of times and it was the worst of times at the same time. There's never perfect conditions. There will never be perfect conditions. There's always something that can and just might go wrong. If you watch the wind, first of all, how do we watch the wind? He who watches the wind, waiting for all conditions to be perfect, will not sow seed. And he who looks to the clouds will not reap a harvest. You can't wait for the perfect conditions to start. You just have to start. You have to start the idea. You have to begin the process. God can't do much with what you won't start. He made you a promise, but you won't move and start so he can fulfill his promise. And then you looking like, God, but you said, and he like, well, you ain't did. So don't watch the wind. Just start sowing your seed. And stop worrying about the how. Just know it's going to get done. Verse 5 right here says, just as you do not know the way and path of the wind, or how the bones are formed in the womb of a pregnant woman, even so you do not know the activity of God who makes all things. You don't know what God about to use. It says good or bad, all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. So, even though something may look bad, it doesn't matter because it's still going to work out for your good. Do you believe it? Don't be afraid. Only believe. Don't be afraid of if the wind is going to blow too hard and uproot your seed. Sow deeper. Dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper and sow your seed. So when the wind blows, it doesn't just blow your seeds away. You have to plant a seed. In order to plant a seed, you've got to dig into the ground. You can't lay a seed on top of the ground and think that it's just going to grow. It does not work like that. You have to bury it. You got to dig in the ground and let that seed be buried and covered so that it can grow. You don't know what God gonna use. It's not your job to figure out how he's gonna do it. It's your job to walk the steps that he has ordered for you so that it can get done. There it is. There it is right there. It's not your job to know how. Abraham did not know how it was going to happen. That's how they ended up in their whole little situation with, Hagar and Sarah's plan and all the things and Ishmael. Like, that could have been avoided because they were trying to figure out the how. Okay. But the how is not important. You just need to show up. God told Abraham, go to the land I will show you. He didn't specify where that land was. He just said, leave your father's land and go to the land that I will show you. Abraham ain't had no blueprint. You might not have a blueprint. You just feel this thing in your heart and you're like, God, I don't know how I'm going to do this. You don't need to know how. You just need to know God said it's going to happen. Be willing to learn. Be coachable. Be teachable. Be willing to try. Be willing to show up. When you feel like, oh, maybe I should go to this place, go. Go. Because you never know who you're going to meet when you get there. Go to the place. Have the conversation. Meet the people. Talk to people. God gonna use people, okay? He's going to use people to position you, to shift you, to move you, to bring you into spaces. It's gonna be through people. So you have to be willing, be approachable. Don't be all deep and wonderful and oh, I can't talk because the Lord is speaking to me. Like, yeah, come on. Be for real. God is gonna do it. You don't have to know how. You just have to move when he tell you to move. Your steps are already ordered, but if you not stepping nowhere, how are you going to get to the next place? You don't need to know how, you need to know your next step. Don't worry about everything else. Walk the path that is set before you. Walk the path that is set before you. You don't need to know how. You don't. Verse 6. This where we're gonna land this plane. Sow your seed in the morning, and do not be idle with your hands in the evening, for you do not know whether morning or evening planting will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both alike will be good. Whichever idea it is, and God never told you to choose the one. That was society, that was um, the culture, that was the gurus telling you pick a niche, choose this, niche down, box yourself in. Sow your seed. Every idea that you get is a seed. Sow your seed in the morning. Do not be idle with your hands in the evening. You do not know whether morning or evening planting will succeed. Whether this or that, or whether both alike. Could be both of them, could be one of them, could be none of them. All depends. But you won't know if you don't sow. Sow your seed. Execute the idea. I'm telling you, the results will be great if you let them. If you let them. Is every idea going to be a hit? I'm not saying that. But you don't know which one is gonna be. And you won't know if you don't sow the seed. So execute the idea. Okay. Don't be afraid. Don't put everything out there for everybody. Be wise in your sharing. Be wise in who you talk to. Be wise in your dealings. Okay. Be wise in who you talk to. Be wise in who you share with. Know your 12. Know your 3. Everybody can't be in the room with you. Everybody can't see your process. But for those who can, let them know. So y'all can sow that seed and get your harvest. Stop waiting for perfect conditions because they're not gonna be. Trust me. I've been I've been looking for the perfect conditions for certain things, and I've realized, you know what? All these perfect conditions I've been waiting on, there's so many other things that I need to focus on, that what I thought I needed to be worried about ain't even it. Not even by a long shot. Okay. There's more pressing things that I need to deal with. So, yeah, know your 12, know your 3. Don't wait for perfect conditions because there are none. The wind gonna blow. It's gonna rain. It's sure enough gonna rain, baby. This Houston weather is crazy. Um, the wind gonna blow. It's gonna rain. Seasons will happen, but trust God. Believe God in the process. Don't allow, don't allow your negative thoughts, other people's negativity, don't allow any of that to stop you from moving forward with what you need to move forward with, because God got you. If he keep putting it on your heart and he won't let it, like it won't let you go, there's a reason for that. There's a reason. Go on and trust him. Go on and pray a little bit longer. Sit in his presence and get some answers. Okay? I love y'all. I hope you have a great week. I hope you have an amazing Monday. And I'm going to see y'all next week as we continue to execute. Yes, just execute July. If you are going to join in on the challenge, make sure you use the hashtag just execute July challenge so I can see what you got going on as well. And we can pray. We can all pray together for each other and all the things. Execute. We not overthinking. We not overthinking. We already know. We all know which one gonna work. Could be one, could be the other one, could be both. Work it out. Okay. I love y'all. And I'm gonna see y'all next week.